everyone, this is Joopy from Kabataan Alliance representing SoCal, and I'm also part of the Filipino Youth Collective at CSUN, which is the University in North Asia. We are about to confront Marcos and his seemingly his world tour around the US is here. This year he went to DC, he's gonna go to Hawaii, he's gonna go to SoCal. So wherever he's gonna go, we want to be there to confront him and show him that there is a movement behind his ousting, behind supporting the Filipino people, and that he can't just escape the legacy of his family, no matter how long it's been. We're just all together in a huge protest against the Asia Pacific Economic Cooperation Forum with the CEOs, and that consisted of the Filipino community across the entire country and even in other countries like Canada. So we're gonna get folks together again to confront the most recent dictator and president, Ferdinand Marcos, to really show him the true demands of the people, the true demands of especially migrant workers here in the United States who face the brunt of his government and the neglect of his government. So we know that he's not going to listen. We know that he's not going to take us so-called rowdy activists seriously. But this is really our opportunity to combat the lies that he's been spreading, the lies of his cronies and his business partners about his regime. So we have a chant in Kabataan Alliance called, it goes, Kabataan Unite, fight for people's rights. So it means youth unite, and then fight for people's rights. Many of the youth here, they didn't live through martial law. They didn't live through the killings, the imprisonments, the tortures, but they did live through the impacts of his legacy and the legacy of his family. He's gonna be making deals with the US government, governments around the world, and figure out what is the fastest, most efficient way to exploit more and more workers in those countries. How can we work with US corporations to send them to our countries back home and displace millions and millions of indigenous people, peasants from their land? And in essence, they're going to talk about how are we going to line our own pockets. They talk about economic development and peace and safety of our countries, but really it's peace for whom, right? Peace and economic development for whom? It's definitely not the millions of Philippine peasants that will continue to lose their land. It will not be peace for indigenous peoples in the Philippines who are also facing military attacks on their communities, and it won't be peace or prosperity for the 99% of the Filipino people. At APEC, they're going to be discussing how are they going to invest in the education of different countries, and not for the sake of bettering those countries, but how do we develop a cheap workforce in other countries so that we can ship them to the US or exploit them for cheap back home. And rather than investing in the education of youth here, rather than giving them the services and the basic necessities that they need here in the United States, these corporations, these heads of states are trying to make deals with each other and deprioritizing the actual services that people need here. The youth have every reason to protest APEC, have every reason to protest what is happening at APEC, because they are embedding a pro-profit system into our countries, one that increasingly neglects the needs of people. So here in the United States, right, companies and corporations from the defense industry like BlackRock, like Raytheon, Boeing, Lockheed Martin, they are investing in STEM departments in our universities. And they're funneling more and more of our youth into these industries that contribute to the killings of our people abroad. And they're contributing to the increasing militarization of indigenous communities in the Philippines, in the militarization and killings of people in Palestine. We do not see a future in this. We do not see a future in being funneled into the war industry and also contributing to the profits of the ultra-rich and for the wars that they are waging across the world.